Oh, it is? Okay, sweet. Okay, I know you want to put this on the web or whatever. Just let the web know.
What time?
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah. That's the only thing I'm missing.
And it was, I think, 23.
Call complaint.
It was 23rd and Jarbo.
Yep, I'm good.
All right, no problem, no problem.
Thanks, man.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll have it.
I just gotta get the time real quick and then we'll be ready. I feel like it was like 4:30, maybe 5.
How are you staying warm? You were just out at another scene.
We were just we're like right down the street. Yeah. It when the sun was out, it was actually pretty good.
Okay, thanks.
I guess I missed that. I blinked and missed it.
This afternoon we were out on the other one like 2:30 or so, 2:30 to like 4:30. The sun was out and it felt pretty good, but it definitely I don't know. 4:15. Okay, cool.
All right, I'm ready with them. You guys ready?
Good.
Yep, all good.
Okay. Beckina, Becchina, Jake, Jake, Sergeant with Kansas City Police. This afternoon, just about 4:15, officers were dispatched to initially to a shooting call, 2300 block of Jarbo. It's also Cesar Chavez Boulevard intersection there, and Jarbo. A resident there said that she heard gunfire and believed that somebody had been shot at a residence there. She directed officers to that residence. Initially, we were met with no one there. Nobody was able to be contacted there. And we got a little bit further information from the calling party that she still believed that someone was inside there. So we had concern for safety of somebody inside there. There's also an added little equation thing to the equation. A couple of people, I think, were up there at the scene. Probably saw some fire trucks up there. We had an odor of natural gas kind of in that area, so that kind of compounded the situation a little bit. We were concerned there may have been a problem with the gas there at the residence initially, and so that's kind of why we took a step back. We called for our tactical response officers to come. They have ways to work with the gas on a residence and safely get it turned off in order to safely clear a residence and check for any victims. So that's kind of how it ended up being a standoff situation. We had concern that there was potentially one or more shooting victims inside of a house. So we had that house surrounded the whole time. That wasn't a problem. And then we had a little bit of concern for the safety of the residents nearby there, as well as any officers that were there to try to render aid if there was somebody injured. So it took a few minutes to get a couple people here to do that. That's why the standoff. Then those officers, as quickly as they could and safely as they could, they got to that scene. Based on the exigency, they went inside that residence to check and see if anybody was, in fact, in there and injured. Thankfully, they cleared that residence. There was no one inside injured. So this is as good an ending as we could hope for in a situation like this. We had to take our time with one small step there, just for the safety of the potential victims, the officers involved, the residents nearby, all of that. But all in all, a very positive ending to one of these situations, because we really kind of never know what we're going to get whenever we get around a house like that. And, we may have victims inside, and it's just a rapidly evolving situation. And everybody did a great job and got the resources here. And again, we're thankful it ended this way. Because unfortunately, we just came from down the street. It was literally 4 blocks away. Where we were working the latest homicide earlier in the afternoon. So we're happy that it ended peacefully the way that it did.
So just to be clear, was there ever actually any gunfire at the call?
Not sure. Again, they're still going to kind of work through that. They'll look to see if there's any evidence there. It's possible there could have been. It's again, our priority was, if there was somebody injured, let's get in there and render aid. After that, now we can slow down, do whatever investigation we need. Now that we know there's not any injured people inside the residence there, so it's possible, but we'll know. They would know more later tonight or tomorrow.
Could this have been a case like squatting or some kind of a phony call?
It's a good question, but I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. The caller was either familiar with the residence or lived at the residence, and they were just down the block, for safety. So it does not seem that way. The call came from right near the residence there, and it's somebody that was familiar with the residence. So I would say it doesn't appear so. Yeah. What's that? We did. There was one person eventually did come out of the house. as we had it surrounded before we kind of knew what was going on. And when that situation happens, we're going to bring that person safely into custody. We're going to detain them for investigation, not necessarily arrest or charge or anything like that. But we need to bring that person, into custody for investigation to determine, if there was in fact some shooting victims inside there. We need to determine, what that person's involvement would have been in that. And so you probably did see one person was detained and brought here to the command post, and they'd be interviewed, debriefed, and just generally talked to about what information they had about the situation.
You're talking to them now?
Yeah, they may actually be done speaking to him. I'm not entirely sure. He was brought here, but I didn't see when we came over here. I didn't see what ended up happening with him. Did you have that same question?
That was
okay.
Yeah, we got video of a guy coming out, but I do want to ask you. I mean, it's cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
You had another homicide down the road, and then a gas leak. I mean, this seems like a pretty unique and challenging situation investigation.
It is. The homicide down the road, there's an entire homicide squad that is focused on that, and they didn't have anything to do with this. And so we're fortunate enough with our department, we're large enough that we have, resources to handle several different critical type incidents at one time. The tactical response team officers, SWAT team officers that respond to a standoff, again, that's part of the reason for calling them here. They train in these types of environments. They train to be out surrounding a house or a business, to operate safely in this type of environment. So this is exactly what they train for. And so that's part of the reason for bringing them here. Obviously, the elements are an issue. It's warmer today than it was yesterday, but it's all relative. I mean, we're still well below freezing right now. And human beings aren't designed to be out in this unprotected for a long period of time. And so they have processes to work through that. We had a standoff, I think, right at about a week ago that it went for a couple hours and involved a search warrant involving not a violent crimes investigation, but they had 2 full squads of these tactical response officers, and they were frequently switching them out so that they could safely operate there. But they do train for this, and obviously it's not comfortable to be out in these elements. But that's part of the sacrifice. That's part of the service to the community, is to be out there to keep those residents in that neighborhood safe, and to bring people to justice that need to if they're responsible for crime. So
has the gas been fixed? Has that issue been fixed?
Yeah. The gas company is a part of a standard response for any standoff. Again, that's part of the reason for calling for those resources. I believe it was temporarily interrupted, but now it should be restored. Yeah.
You may have said this in the beginning, but how many people were detained?
One person. Yeah, one person was detained after they came out of the house.
What about the street? How long is it going to be closed?
Should be probably back open. I would say within the hour. We had to block off Cesar Chavez specifically for the safety. Anytime there's potential gas issue there, we want to make sure everybody around that area is safe. So should be back open soon.
So to Chris, I mean, you have 3 things going on. You have the triple shooting earlier today, then you have this that turned out to be maybe nothing, maybe something, and then you have the gas leak. I mean, this is a busy day for you guys. I guess, is it kind of a win that this turned out not to be another shooting or another urgent situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's, when we get information that somebody could be injured inside a house, I mean, that's obviously we've got the utmost concern for that potential victim. We want to make sure to get them aid as quickly as we can to give them the best chance to survive a critical injury, and to find out that there isn't anybody. It's kind of a sigh of relief. It's the best possible ending we could hope for in a situation like this.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Stay warm. Hopefully you're inside for the night.
I'm going to hand you this, and I'm going to make a call, and I'm probably going to scram, Rob. Thanks. Good luck.
All right.